Good evening, televiewers. You're welcome to this other edition of Prime on my Media Prime, an edition that is dedicated to talking Impactive Spirit with the vision bearer and CEO of Go Ahead Africa, one-time JCI world president. I'm sure the lone black president ever for JCI.
We have got Nigeria and Zimbabwe after me.
After you,
yes.
Okay. Yes, and someone who has traveled beyond 72 countries. 96 countries in the world. He has been speaking to Asians, Americans, Europeans.
Volume 1 during COVID-19, where we had the impression that things were really falling apart and that the world was ending. I mean, when I talk about the world, the global, I mean,
yes.
And people started asking a lot of questions, and people started doubting about the future because airport closed, no travels, company closed, you have to work from home, lockdown, and it was really tough. We had the impression that that was the end of the world. Now, I took advantage of my experience of leadership coach to come out with something, because my client at that time, many will ask, at the moment where the world was not going well, but we were very
active
because the managers, the leaders, the corporate leaders, they had the business or the show must go on. And at that time, they would call me, Mr. Roland, for instance, our team, the staff, they are very, the motivation has so dropped, and people are really down. Do you have any project? Do you have any training? Do you have any initiative? And we started now giving them all these tools. We compiled them and created, produced the first book. So Impactive Spirit, as you rightly said, is more on a mindset. It's a spirit. Which type of spirit do we need to have when we are going through a lot of challenges? Bearing in mind that in the history of humanity, there have always been problems. There are only challenges. So it is about each and every one of us making sure that those challenges are transformed to possibilities and opportunities. So I divided the book in 3 parts. So when we talk about Impactive Spirit, A plus A plus A equal to A. The first A is aptitude.
Okay.
We need to have skills. I mean, if you are a journalist, you must be skillful in the journalism field. I mean, if I want to be trivial, I would say you need to be competent.
Yeah.
So that's the first, the aptitude. Now, it's not enough being competent. The second A is attitude. Which type of mindset, behavior, value system you need in order to be an outstanding journalist? A part of writing a paper very well, doing the interview, investigate, which are what we call competence métier, I mean, in your field. We need to have now the right attitude. And now, the attitude is not enough. There's another A. We need to act. Okay. I should tell the televiewers that Mr. Kum was in Tico. I will not say more. But for something that is very personal to him. Now, you went there. So, and we're saying it's important. Action speaks louder than word. So, the A, first A is aptitude. The second A is attitude. And the third A is action. If this A plus A plus A comes together, it will give what I have called the Impactive Spirit. Okay?
Impactive Spirit. I don't know whether you are taking the notes. You always watching from across the globe. He's talking about aptitude, attitude, and actions. Is this what is gravely lacking in Africans?
I think, let us start by the first A,
yes.
Aptitude.
Yeah.
Mr. Kum, you have known me for many years, since Boya. We have grown together, we have gone a long way. By nature, I'm someone very optimistic. So if you know, yes. I will rarely, when there's danger, I'll always see possibilities. Now, I think we lack skills in Africa.
Okay.
We have certificates. You know, yeah, we produce a lot of certificates.
Doctors, professors,
this. But how can you explain that a continent like us will import everything, even toothpick? What do we produce? Now, I took upon me for the past 8-9 years to dress like this. Why? I said I will support the local person that can dress me that can, my water, my tea. Even the book is produced in Cameroon. My first book was done in France, but the second and the third one in Cameroon now. I try as much as possible to promote local content. The promotion of local content is not just a concept, it's not just a slogan. So, but
we should act it.
Act it. Now, in that process of even this dress, there have been issues because the tailor will tell you, okay, I will give you the dress in 1 week. 1 week after, the dress is not ready. Or today he shows it so well, then you tell him, okay, I just want the same, I want my friend Kum, I want to. Then he shows it's bad. We are not consistent. Okay. So the aptitude, we need to really work hard to make sure that we are consistent in our competency. So I can tell you that we have issues. And we have issues because our educational system is more on general education. You see, when you say a mechanic is like you are a dropout. When they want to send you to a mechanic is when things are not just working. Go and do mechanic. Even the way they will say it is like a punishment. If you want to be a tailor, it's when you are a dropout. People will go along as a master's degree in history or I don't know what, but they have no skills. You bring them to this television, I ask them, okay, tell me what you can do here. He cannot do anything here. He will tell, okay, Mr. Kum, anything, just give me, I will do. So there are issues on our educational system. This is not the fault of the kids or the student. It's the challenge of the leadership in terms of the African government. We need to rethink our educational system. I have seen and listened to many debates here. You have experts better than me to speak about it. Now, the second A you're asking me is attitude. Yes, we are in the ABC syndrome. I said in my first book, when we keep accusing others why we are not performing. We keep blaming others why we are not achieving our life goal. And we complain from morning to evening. I'm happy you went to take over something that, to bring your own small solution. What does that mean? It means that even when you are not the cause of the problem, please try to be part of the solution or be the solution. It's a matter of mindset, the ABC syndrome. So you will see that again, attitude, we have issue of attitude. And if you take the illness of our continent, tribalism, favoritism, okay, why Mr. Kum now will invite Mr. Roland? Because they are friends. I'm not against friendship, but I think you should invite me on a program based on what I can bring in. We don't choose our brothers, but we choose our friends. So the attitude issue is a whole thing that we have to work. And the last one, you have said it, I don't think we act a lot. If we're really acting, if we're working so hard, the continent will not be where it is. So this evening, I will be very hard on my continent because I love Africa. And they say in French, qui aime bien châtie bien. If someone loves you, he need to tell you the truth. So I don't know, Mr. Kum, those 3A, if you ask me to grade from 0 to 10, I will say we are like 5 over 10. Okay,
we are like 5 over 10. All of what Mr. Roland is going to be talking about today is contained in this book, The Impactive Spirit, and I'm sure you would want to get it because he wants to change Africa. He wants to get Africa to the level of Singapore. I followed a documentary on Singapore this morning, and I was shocked.
40 years ago, it was like Limbe.
Yes,
it was
it's a city nation.
Yes.
So it
took great leaders. It's about leadership.
Okay. So I think Mr. Roland wants all of us to get this, because a nation gets to Singapore, but the family needs to get to the level of the big successful families. But the 4 main categories of aptitude, you talk about specialized skills and competencies. You talk about methodological skills, competencies. You talk about personal skills, competencies, social skills, competencies. Can you summarize this?
No, I try to, because most of the time when we talk about aptitude or skills, we have the impression that it's about certificate.
Yes.
Which is something we really need to, it's a paradigm that we need to really shift. And I'm happy I've been following up. So when we talk about this main category, you will see that it is important that when you have a skill, what are you specialized at? You cannot be a jack of all trades. What are you good at? Even in journalism,
Yes.
You specialize. Some will be investigators, some will be sport, some will be political. So it is important to be specialized. That's the first lesson. The second one is that we need to have method. I said about the young people showing my dress. I keep telling them that it shouldn't be lottery. Today you show it well, tomorrow you don't show it well. It means that you have not had a good master of the method.
They should establish a formula to follow.
Yes, a standard.
Yes.
A formula. So that when you are not, another person can 1 + 1 = how do we run this program? First, we prepare it. Second, so it's document, it's script. So that when Mr. Kum is not, someone can just come and see. It might not be Mr. Kum because of who you are. We are all unique. But at least the difference should not, yes. So that's what I'm called methodical. Then the third that come is now your personal skill. Now the personal skill is that each one of us has a personal touch. We're all unique. I'm giving an example. Mr. Kum, people can run this your program. Colleagues, you can train. But when some they say, oh, but wow, Mr. Kum is not here today. Even if the person is blind, because we're unique.
Yes.
So what is that unique point that you have? It means that you must know yourself. And the fourth one is now social skills. Social skills, because human being by definition are social beings.
Yeah.
You cannot just, and I'm happy because I can give the example again. This afternoon, you went to Tico. I mean, you are free to say why, but you told me and I was touched. And even other things you have done. Now, you see that, and you were saying, even your birthday, you did some small thing. I mean, let us be with Peter, will not say it, but for your birthday, you decided to do something with people that are going through some challenges. And you told me, and I told you that, I'm sure, Mr. Kum, that if I've prepared a feast of 10 head of state with you, then the meeting you had with these people going through all these life challenges, you will see that at the end of the day, when you go to bed, you feel more fulfilled because you have changed your life. You have brought a smile to people. And this is something that is a whole skill. We might call it individual social responsibility, but I call them social skills. So it's not just being a great mathematician, a great journalist, an amazing physician or architect, but what is the impact that you have in the society?
Okay, yeah. The impact you have in the society. Now, Mr. Roland, you have been working with young Cameroonians, Africans for a very long time, and you came up with the impact of one. Yes. That was very successful. There is the Impactive Spirit. How do we get this downloaded in Cameroonians?
Thank you. So what we did is that the book I use it a lot for my conferences in the corporate world. And I have to confess that I've been so sad I have not done launching or trainings in the Southwest and Northwest for reasons
we all know.
You all know, because many of the clients couldn't go there. But I think sooner or later I will do something in Boya, Limbe, maybe Bamenda again, because it's not just a book. And I'm happy, and I told you that this program today, I wanted it to be like a free training and coaching session that they pay me something, a lot of money for, but it will be my contribution for the amazing job you are doing. So the book for the moment, you can find them in Boya, in I think it's Bongo Square, Merino. But again, it's more important if they write to us, we can send them the book. But the book are in FINAC, here in Douala, which is a library, in Yaoundé, Librairie de Peuple Noir, and also in our head office here in Immeuble Balafon. But again, most of the time, during the trainings that I give, the books are always available.
They're always available. If you're watching us and you want a copy of this book and you want to be part of a training, is there a training that's coming up?
We have the volume 2. Yes, the red one. That is just out 2 weeks ago, because that's volume 1. Volume 2, and the launching will be on the 12th of October, Hotel Sawa in Douala. Okay. And the 16th of November in Yaoundé. We also have Casablanca and Bruxelles, all in October. So in the next 2 weeks, I'm doing some international trainings. And so in Cameroon, it will be essential those trainings. If not, we have the impact talks. But the fee is so high, and that was not my target to come here, because our fees are, but the book is 10,000 francs, and you have access to all the trainings we are giving. So I prefer that they come during the book launch, and I really hope before the end of the year, I'll do something in Boya.
Okay.
My town,
please,
my city.
Okay, please, if you want to attend the trainings of Mr. Roland Kwemain, you can get to me. I'll get you connected.
Thank you.
To him. And also, if you need this book, just get to me and I will, you will share your number and his number with you so that you can talk with him. He will give you free coaching if he has time. But this book contains a lot. I don't know aptitude, and you have attitude, but you speak in parables.
Yes, a lot.
Yes. Can I say that you took the form of an African grandfather who is now talking to his children using parables? Jesus did that also.
No, Jesus is my role model.
Yeah.
Now, let me also be honest with you. If you look, you know my story. I was brought up by my grandfather,
okay,
my paternal grandfather. So, and with him, you know, with the grandparent, he was, as all African grandparents, he spoke a lot on parable, on African proverbs. And from childhood, I fell in love with this African proverb. So you will see 99% of my quotes in my leadership training at the level that you can't even imagine are all African proverbs.
Okay.
And that's why even in the book, I always start with a quote, but I will cite African proverbs because Africa is where everything started. Africa is where everything started. Now, the only challenge that we have is that our culture was more on orality. You know, it was not written. So since it was not written, we have the impression that nothing happened here. No, it started here. And that's why I've always doing a lot of promotion and my research. If I go like to whom, I'll ask them, how do they say this on conflict resolution? Give me one or two ideas. So in all my trips, I keep doing that, and I've been very enriched with that. So I have a whole data. When I go to a country, to a community, my question will be to ask on, let me say if I'm doing a seminar on strategic management, and I will ask people from that community, how do they plan? How do they recruit? How do they motivate? But again, in dialect, I mean the local dialect, and we come out with powerful, if Nigeria is really even so, in Nigeria I had a whole book on African proverbs. If you see the East Africa, very advanced, also on West Africa, very advanced. So I've been using them and so far quite successful. Every chapter, I have, and so I have an African proverb, for instance, on aptitude: if you can't be a star in the sky, be a lamp in your house. So these are all African proverbs. African proverbs.
When one goes through it, because I've taken time to go through most of them, I feel like sitting beside an old father who is dropping those proverbs, and then now directing me towards where the sense actually is leading. I would want us to go through some of them for the pleasure and understanding, and also for the blessings of those who are watching us. You say you think that misfortune has an advantage, and it will let you know you are true friends.
Yes. Now, the truth is that, Mr. Kum, sometimes when we are healthy, when we are wealthy, we have many people around us. Because of Mr. Kum, you know, he's the great journalist. I want to be friends with him. So you have to be very careful. People are coming because it's Mr. Kum. The day you have a challenge, I mean, maybe the parents sick or you lost someone, that's where you start to see your true friends. Now, I have an experience. Now, in terms of friendship, people will say, okay, I've been so disappointed, I don't have friends. I will say, be very careful. Now, maybe you are not a good friend. If at 1 a.m., Mr. Kum, nobody can call you to say, hey, Leonard, my mom just passed away, I'm on my way to the mortuary. At 1 a.m., if nobody can call you, it means you are not a true friend. So it's when there are challenges that you will know who are your friends. And that's why we should take them like a blessing.
Okay.
It's not when everything is okay, you have people around you, you think you are very popular, that you are very... It's when things are tough. For instance, you are in prison or you are having challenges, you will see how only mothers will go to prison to go and look for their children. Now, when a young guy is a thief, excuse me, I've seen it in one of my trips in Zimbabwe, I will not forget it. So we visited a poor woman she knew that I was JCI president, and she came to me and she said, in the dialect, that look, my son is in this prison, but I'm sure my son did not do anything. You see how mothers are made now. When we met even the guy, there was clear evidence that he was a thief. Now I just asked him, all the money you took, did you give your mother 1 franc? The guy looked at me. He said, no, sir. But I'm sure he gave women.
Yeah.
Now, when things were tough, the only person that stayed to support him and to come almost every day to the prison is who? Is the mother. So that's why I'm trying to say we have to be very careful. When we have a lot, things are wonderful. You cannot say you have many friends at that time. Just wait when there are issues, when there are challenges, health, money, career.
When there's a scandal
then you will see who are your true friends. And that's where now there will be a life lesson that you needed those challenges to know who are your true friends.
The lesson is contained in this book?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, so Mr. Roland actually is playing the role of the grandfather in Africa who is talking to us through this book. So you want really to get all the proverbs and get the meaning, so that you can live with the lessons.
Yes.
Yes. You also think that where there is love, it never gets dark. You think it's
from Côte d'Ivoire. Let me give it. It's from Côte d'Ivoire. I got là où on s'aime, il ne fait jamais nuit.
Okay.
You know, where there is love. Now I use it. If you look very well, I use it a lot. I use it even in team buildings. In organization, look, Mr. Kum, you have a great position in this television, but you need your colleagues to make sure that the television, move forward. Now, if in this organization, we guys are jealous, and I say jealous, I say, okay, why is it that it's just Mr. Kum who is famous, while we're all journalists? Jealousy starts. Why is there jealousy? Because there's no love. But where there is love, when I say when there is love, there is no darkness, because when you love yourself, you will not see the difficulty or the point d'amélioration, because nobody is perfect. Nobody has 10 over 10. All of us are working construction. But when there is love, you will not see the weak points of your collaborators, your colleagues. But when there is no love, a small issue like this, you will make it big because there is no love. And that's why I'm using love. It's so powerful. Love is, that's why I say God is love. Now, let us take another case. I have jokes. When we're student in the university and you are looking for a girl, for a girlfriend, she might be living like let's say 5 kilometers from your house. You are ready to go and see her every day because you need something. But the day you have what you wanted, and then you don't love her more, you know, you tell her that, you know, my dear friend, you people, your house is too far. The truth is that she has not changed the house. She's still in the same house. But now you start to tell her that, no, you people, your house is too far. Do you know why you're saying that? Because you don't love her. It is the same in a marriage. When you will see Friday, we're in the council, we are signing, people are happy, but Monday, you just go to the court. And you see when people want to divorce, you will see the horrible aspect of the human nature. A husband will say terrible thing on the wife, and the wife will say terrible thing on the... All this because something has gone. Love.
Okay, so if you want to experience light at your job site, within the family circle, within the circle of your friends, and as a community, let love lead.
Love is at the center. You know, Mr. Ko, why do you think, now, many times I knew you since Boya. Every time our program are so amazing, I knew, because you have a lot of admiration for me. I mean, I'm not saying because we're on air, when you respect for, it makes things easier. If you had a guest that you hate him, people will know. If there's a guest on this program that I don't like him, I don't know if you are getting me, that you hate him, let me put it like that. There will be some tension, there will be this, there will be what we call in French, amertume, bitterness. So love is so powerful, and that's why God is really love. The day there's no love, or if you see issues in families, in the communities, in companies, you look very critically.
It's hate.
It's hate, jealousy, envy. But if there's love, I will be happy of the success of Mr. Kum, happy of the success of my driver, of my brother, my sister, because his success is not my failure, by the way.
Okay.
Yes.
So I hope the lessons are going down. If you have a question for Mr. Roland, send the questions to me. I'll put it through, because he's here to actually dish out free coaching in life. If you are a girl, you are a worker, you are facing relationship issues, please put them through, and I pray we have time for him to respond to some of them. If you need the book that is being used as source of inspiration to dish out this information, also request for his number. I'll send it to you. Good evening, Mr. Leo. Please link me to Mr. Roland. I wish to inquire how much it will cost to attend the program so I can plan earlier. Humphrey is writing from Bomenda. Mr. Roland, the number is 67782. 67782?
Yes, is my manager number.
67782 3612.
Yeah, 12. That's my manager number.
Is this the number I should give out, or
no?
Or?
I think you can give my number.
Okay.
67793
7793. Yes.
7065 is my WhatsApp. But let us
7065.
65 is better on WhatsApp.
67793 7065. Okay. You have Mr. Roland's number there. That is Humphrey from Bomenda. I've sent you his number. It's a WhatsApp number.
It's WhatsApp, yeah.
Okay. Mr. You can get to Mr. Roland, and he will answer your worries, please. Good evening, Mr. Leo. Please, I would love to get in touch with your guest who is talking on the key to fly sustainably in life. Okay. You have Mr. Roland's number there. But if you have a question, actually, can you just ask it? I'll put it through to him. Leo, please, for Mr. Roland's number. Okay, Mr. Roland, you're going to receive so many calls this evening.
You give me homework, right?
Yes, many persons are faced with problems and do not know where to get. Now, Mr. Roland, we have so many problems in Africa, in Cameroon particularly, but you have been organizing workshops, you've been doing so much. What is acting as a hindrance to our acquisition of the free knowledge, free seminars and everything? Remember, you said that Africa was the greatest.
Yes.
Where we are. Yes.
It's a continent of paradox. We are the greatest in terms of natural resources, but we are not the greatest in terms of human development. Long way to go. And I think this paradox can be explained essentially by poor leadership. Now, when we talk about, if you ask the common man or the televiewers following us to define, to say who is a leader, they will tell you essentially a president, the minister, the CEO, the mayor. But these are not leaders. These are titles and function. They are not automatically leaders. You can be all that, but you are not. But now, to be a leader has nothing to do with those titles. It's essentially being inspiring, to motivate, to influence, but most importantly, to be at the service of others. So there is no way that you can call yourself a leader if you are not the service of your community or your organization. And if you look very well, one of the challenges we have been facing, and when I do the Leadership Academy, is essentially explaining to this young, I mean, we really need to format the whole software in terms of the human software and install a way, because our environment on day to day, the examples are not very good. We look, they will tell you, okay, Mr. Roland, all what you are saying is good, but I know this person after 5 years built 1 or 2 houses, you know, and so they say whole work, or they will tell you, you know, to have a concours, you need to know someone who knows someone. Which is true, but not totally true. I just had a long conversation with my classmate who was trying to talk to me about the song, you know, about recommendation. And I was like, I sign recommendations, but based on the principle of a young person that is outstanding. I will sign it even without reading. But are you sure about your child? Do you know who is your child in terms of values? And most of the time, the parent don't even know, but they will still. I remember when I had Total as one of my big clients, And my aunt came to me and said, look, well, you can help your nephew become even start as filling station. You know the general manager. This is your client. But the problem I told my aunt, this cousin that all of us know, who is a thief? I mean, he's not a serious young person. You want me to bring him to a company, and what you don't know is that they start at a level of filling, but they become tomorrow station managers, managing hundreds of millions. Now, if this guy can steal an egg, he will steal a cow. So you see again, I think we should be very, very careful, and that's why you can have the impression that things are not really moving. But I think in the impact of one, the Facebook you explained, I keep saying the capacity of each and every one of us to do something. I will say, do your little part. And I'm happy you are just from Tico. And the way you were talking, I feel a lot of happiness. Well, you're in a Tico to go and give, to go and support, to go and bring your contribution. But the way you were telling me it is like you went to have an award. No award. So again, let me say it very clear. Mr. Kum, let each and every one of us do his little part.
Yes, Mr. Roland, you've written so many books.
So far.
Yes, and you organize seminars every day. And when you talk to people, where are you getting this inspiration from? I want those who are watching us to understand that you work with so many companies around. You do the training, you do this and that and that. Yeah.
I want it to be very clear. My clients are companies.
Okay.
What I'm doing here, I don't do that.
Okay.
So I don't have individual clients. I give my number, people call, but I don't work with individuals.
Okay.
I work with organizations. Yes, so
okay.
I want to. So I don't have individual. Mr. Kum come to me, I cannot help. I can help on personal, but if my major prime come is my client, that's different.
Okay.
I don't know if you are getting what I'm saying. So I'm more on the corporate coaching because of my background, because I've been an entrepreneur for the past 25 years old. I started my career in 1993, and in 1995 I was already country manager, so general manager at the age of 24. And then I had an outstanding experience with JCI, the biggest and outstanding youth organization in the world, which is 200,000 members worldwide, 13 million past members, 125 countries. So this is clear that from there, when you have that career, your clients are only the corporate world. And so I thank God that that's why I am. But in terms of my CSR or my individual social responsibility, I agree with you that we can help. That's why I do some leadership trainings monthly to give access to those who cannot have access to me through the company. Because even the companies where I'm coaching, not all the staff. So there have been frustration. Is the top management and the middle management. So again, these trainings, if you look, the sources of my competency come first, my academic background. I have a master's on international management from EI Poitiers in France. I have also, I'm preparing a GBA right now with EMAS, a Russian school, because my first degree is in Cameroon, and I'm very proud to say I'm a Cameroon product. My master's degree is with a French school, and my GBA with a Russian. Okay. Why Russian? Because I think in terms of strategy, because the fact that I did JCI is a whole American organization, so I think the American culture, skills is okay for me now. I think it's important to also look at the Russian, because in terms of strategy, the military strategy, because I'm doing a GBA on strategic management, it's important to learn and tap from them. Now, with my African background, now based on the experience of the fact that, okay, I've been married for 20 years, so I have experience in family. I'm the first son. I have 9 juniors, so I'm first of, and I started paying school fees of my juniors as soon as I was in university, because I had the privilege and the luck. We are the last generation that were paid to go to school. So I had scholarship. Every month I had money from the government. And when I started having that money, my father went on retirement in 1991. And so 1992, the scholarship I had, I would start paying school fees. As soon as I started working, I paid the school fee of from the direct follower to the 10, making me to be responsible. So when I talk about responsibility in leadership, it's not fake, it's not it's not even JCI. It's something I've been doing. And then I can also talk about the spiritual life. I've been very fortunate to be an active member in the Catholic Men Association in Cameroon, where I was national president. So after being diocesan and all that, but those titles are just titles. But I think I try as much as possible to be someone who fears and who has faith in God. So all those caps gives me the opportunity and the legitimacy today to be. Then I'm an author, 3 books. The truth is that next year the other book is almost ready on transformation of organization in Africa based on the 10 years of experience of Go Ahead with Eneo. Eneo was our biggest client, Group SABC, Total, Deloitte, Côte d'Ivoire, PwC. So if you look at our clients, BGF and all the rest, they are big corporations, and I took 10 of the CEOs based on the experience I had with them, and we wrote a book on how do we transform companies in Africa, transformation in companies by Africans in Africa, even multinational. Because when we talk about Total, if you see Total in Cameroon, 2 whites out of 300 staff, Brazzaville in here, 5 whites out of 4,000 staff. I want people to know the figures. So it's a Cameroon company run by Cameroonians, and this is something we should be proud of. So I was listening to my big brother Eric Chinje, who said at BAD, this is just to tell even my travel around the world, I was impressed by the level of competency of Cameroonians all over the world. We should celebrate and respect our diaspora. Now, when he was in BAD, there were 12 Cameroonians when the Rwandese came as president. So he was worried. He said, oh, there are a lot of Cameroonians having a key position. It's not normal that a country out of the 54 has those positions. So, and the guy did something well, amazing to not bring frustration. He called a French and a British company in terms of evaluation that everybody should resign, and now you will do the interview so that the best
should be taken.
Do you know what happened? At the end of the process, 18 Cameroonians. So it was not now from 12 to 18 Cameroonians. 18 Cameroonians at the top level. Now the question is, how come we are outstanding all over the world and that we are still going through a lot of challenges in our country?
Okay. Good evening, Mr. Leo. Please help me ask Mr. Roland, how are you supposed to love someone who acts like they are not interested in anything you do and are only interested sexually? Besem is writing from Kumba. Besem, I don't know.
No, I can answer.
Yeah, let me get two more messages, and you can come in, Mr. Roland. Good evening, Mr. Kum. Please, with Mr. Roland's number, sir, can you define the ABC syndrome again, Mr. Roland? I hope you are just taking notes.
Okay, let me take my pen. A is for accusing.
Okay. B
for blaming, and C for complaining. I've developed it in my first book called The Impact of One. So the ABC syndrome: stop accusing, stop blaming, and stop complaining. If you do it, you become now a solution, even when you are not the cause of the problem.
Okay.
Now,
so A stands for
accusing. You should stop accusing.
You accuse everybody.
Yes. Why you are not succeeding, you accuse. If now this program is not good, Mr. Kum will accuse the technician. No, you should take responsibility. The B is blame. You blame everybody except yourself. The blame game. Then C is complain. It means you are so bitter. If I say good morning, Mr. Kum, oh, this country is finished, you know. First say good morning. I've said good morning. So you see, people are so bitter. So if you have this A, B, C syndrome, you are finished. There is no way you can succeed in life. Your life is going to be a total mess.
Okay, so I hope you got it. Stop complaining all the time. Stop accusing and stop complaining.
Stop blaming.
Blaming.
Accusing, blaming, and complaining.
Complaining, okay.
A, B, C.
Good evening, Mr. Leo. Thanks for hosting Mr. Roland. He sounds very resourceful. Please help me with his number. I'm sure the number I'm sharing with you guys is WhatsApp number, right?
Yes, WhatsApp.
Okay, so you call him and also talk with him. Besem, you have some?
Yes, I was telling Besem, I mean, I didn't get right, but if someone wants sex with you and you are not okay, it's no.
Okay.
It's no. You must be value-oriented. Be very careful. You must have strong values. Life is not just about money, about material. Now, I hope your attitude also will not push the person to believe that you wanted to do that. So sometimes also our attitude will determine our altitude. So we have to be very careful. Then last but not least, we need to pray and have strong faith.
Okay, we have to pray all the time and have strong faith in God, who is the author and finisher of our faith. Good evening, Mr. Leo. This is Vera writing from Bamendankwe, that's upstation. Please, I'm really inspired by Mr. Roland's book. I wish to get in contact with him. You guys should write to him via WhatsApp using the numbers I just sent to you now. Good evening, Mr. Kum. I just confirmed what Mr. Roland is saying about Mr. Kum. Truly, Mr. Kum is full of love. As for his program, Mr. Tembek is writing from Kumba. Good evening to you, Mr. Tembek. Please, we all should love. Mr. Roland, you know, Jesus spoke at times, and the disciples will ask, what is the meaning of what you just said? And then he will explain. I want you to explain this. You say, good things come to those who know how to wait. But you go further to add that great things come to those who stand up and do their utmost to get there.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, I'm giving two possibilities. Now, you know, there are what we call seasons. I observe the nature, there are seasons.
Okay.
Mr. Kum, you might fight for something. If that's not the right season, you're in trouble.
Okay.
There's rainy season, there's dry season. You know, for those who are farmers, there are seasons where they will be sowing. And there are seasons where they will be reaping. That's it. So is to, okay, now, what I'm trying to say is this. It is important for you to make sure that you are patient, that perseverance and resilience. But in that process of perseverance and resilience, you don't just go and pray and wait for God to do so. You work hard. You continue to work, even if you don't have the result. Continue. Don't abandon. I mean, giving up should not even be an option. At the end of the process, there will be something. Now, if you just start and you say, okay, maybe it's not my season, I will go and wait. No, that's what I have not said. Despite the fact that we have seasons, but each season there's an action to be done. It's just that maybe this season is now to put on the inside. But every day you come and clear. Wait. And after 6 months now, things, you cannot, it's like a pregnancy. You can have, and I put in the book, maybe volume 1, you can be the richest person on earth. You have 9 wives with all money, but you cannot have a kid in 1 month. But with you must wait 9 months. Whereas you have 1 wife, it will be 9 months. But 9 women cannot give a child in 1 month. I don't know if you are getting me.
Yeah.
I'm repeating again. A lady, 1 man, you have 9 months for her to give birth. But you can say, okay, I have all money on the world. You bring 9 women. You will not have a kid in 1 month. What does that mean? That we must take in consideration seasons.
Okay. Yes. We must be perseverant, but we must keep
working while waiting. Not that you just go and wait and say, okay, Mr. Roland spoke about season. Let me go and be praying. No. Prayer alone will not solve. You need to walk and pray. You walk on the 2 legs. If it's just prayers and waiting for something to happen, it will never happen. But if you work so hard and you have the impression that God doesn't exist, it's become dangerous. I think you might become arrogant. And there's nothing as dangerous as arrogance. Okay.
You see, hope is the pillar of the world. It ties with what you just said. Yes. All of what we are talking about, please, is contained in this book. But I want you to get back to, if you can't be a star in the sky, be a lamp in your house.
Now, what I was trying to say, some of the time, we might be very, very ambitious, which is normal. But before saying I want to lead my city, the question is, how is your home? How is your family? If you are not a responsible father or a responsible mother, then you go, then you are headmaster of a school, then there's a problem. And that's why in the first book, I spoke about the 5 dimensions. And even when I developed the Impactive Spirit, volume 2 is there. The first dimension or the first element of our success, to measure our success, is our career. The first barometer of success is our career. The second barometer of success is our family life. The third barometer of success, our friends. The fourth barometer of success is the impact in our community. And the fifth barometer of success is our spiritual life.
Okay.
Now, you will look very well that people might be very outstanding in terms of career, but the home, disaster, then there's a problem. I want to tell you, Mr. Kum, he's not a happy person. This is my job of accompanying and coaching CEOs. I've consistently doing for the past 12 years. I've been having CEOs, management committee members, the top of the top. And we arrive at the point where someone will tell, look, Coach Roland, I've acquired everything professionally, but in my house, things are not okay. These are personal stuff that they tell you. They have issues, maybe a child is a thief, a daughter is doing this, or maybe even with madam, things are not okay. So just to tell you how crucial, we even say family is goal. Now, you also said another person, he has been so outstanding professionally. He retired now, he come to the community. I saw him in Moliko. People don't want to work with you. Because when you were a great guy, you were not with us. Now you have retired, you are in the church every day. Look, this is 9 minutes, prolongation. Although we are not there to judge, but you see, people will say, oh, Mr. Kum was not with us, now he's retired, he's come. So why are friends? You mean you are not a good friend? The fourth one is the community. I'm happy the example you gave me offline that I will not give, but I'm happy you were in Tico. You see, the impact in the community. We must create impact in our communities. When we take the internal display, I keep telling my Francophone friends here, in our companies today, if you have an Anglophone brother, you will see that in his house, there are like 5, 10 people living. It is important for us here to say, hey, brother, maybe this is a bag of rice. Or now this is back to school. 5,000, 10,000. It can have 5,000 for those people is like 5 million because of all what they are going through. So again, don't just say, okay, what the government have not done anything. Try to be the solution at your small level. Then the spiritual element is so important because when you have faith in God, you have fear in God. And if God is with you, God is around you, who can be against you? Nobody.
Okay. So all of what Mr. Roland is saying is in this book. Try your best to be the star in your family.
Yes.
Be outstanding.
Be outstanding. And for me, family is goal. Okay. You might conquer the world, but please. And this was a long conversation I had with late Minister Godwin Monokoso. When I was elected JCI president, and he asked to see me, I went to his house in Bokwango, and he told me, look, my son, I've gone around the world. He was the WHO director, Professor Godwin Monokoso. Yes. Yes. So, and he told me that please make sure that your family is okay. I don't know, that was a powerful advice for me. And today, I might have gone around the world, but I make sure that first thing first, family.
Okay. Thanks, sir. Mr. Liu, your guest is very inspirational. I like his style of writing and source of inspiration. His choice of examples around us makes me mad. G. Ignatius is writing from Bambui. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Please, for Mr. Roland's number, please don't call. Just send a text message. Stop calling. Just send a text message. I will forward his number to you for those who need it, and you will get connected to him. Mr. Roland, you are talking about the need for us to make the best from within the micro level, which is the family. And we have a big leadership problem in Cameroon, where we want to be presidents, we want to be almost everything, and you are working against that. You have had several leadership summits. What is it that you really want to change when it comes to the concept of leadership in Africa?
I'll make it simple. Okay. I want people, especially young generation, to understand that leadership is not about privilege. Okay. It's not, okay, I'm a minister, I have a car, a gendarme, I build houses, I go to politics, I was slim like this. After 2 years, I'm fat like this, you know, houses. No, no, no. What I'm trying to demonstrate is that Leadership is essentially service. So it's about servanthood leadership. And to serve, you don't even need to have PhD, master degree. You don't need to have all that. If I ask you, Mr. Kum, to give me the name of Miss Cameroon last year.
It's Moncam now.
And it's because it's you, 2 years ago. But if I ask you to give me the name of your class 7 teacher, class 7.
Mr. Fai?
I will give you Mr. Weber. I was in class 6, Kum Leonard in 82. I don't know if you are getting me. Yeah. So, but look, the impact it has in your life than Miss Cameroon or Miss World, whether you are an outstanding journalist. So, people will not care about all those your degree, your PhD. It's about serving.
Okay.
And that's why you will not forget the name of your primary school teacher. I went back to primary school. I didn't want to go to university. Primary school. So as far as possible, you will not forget him until you die. So tell me, your teacher, was it a star? Was it on television? Did he have car, houses? But look, the great impact he had in your life. So leadership, and let me give another great example to be scientific and factual. In 2010, in all the countries I did, I asked one gift. You know, JCI president has a lot of gifts, but I took upon me to ask a gift. The gift was what? You'll be surprised. I said, I wanted a book, an autobiography or a biography on one personality that have had a huge impact in the history of your country, the country I visited. I mean, if I go to France, I go to, I don't know, Peru, I go to Colombia, I will ask Jamaica, but you'll be surprised. And I put it in appendix in this book. Listed the livres reçus, books I received in 2010 as gift. Now, great news is that I received, I think, 54 books. 54 books. No, this is for the impact. In these 54 books I received as gift, 2 of the books are president of the country. I don't know if you're getting me. Before I came to our country, Jamaica, I said, please, you give me all the gifts, but there's one gift that I asked. Normally, I shouldn't ask for a gift. I said, please, I want a book on a person. Some countries like Jamaica, I got 2 books. Guess the book in Jamaica. Jamaica.
Is it Bob?
Bob Marley and, not Usain, but Bob Marley and Marcus Garvey.
Yes.
That is. Then for India, I got 2 books. Guess?
Gandhi
and Mother Teresa. Now, Gandhi was never prime minister. Mother Teresa was just a sister, for a Catholic that I am. Sister, I mean, is at the down, the ladder, I mean, down ladder of the church. But look, the impact that Mother Teresa had in the world. And I can give you examples. So out of the 54, I had only 2 books of presidents. So I came to the conclusion that being a president, being a prime minister, is not. And even when we talk about Mandela, celebrating Mandela, in many countries I asked them, they never even knew that Mandela was president of South Africa. People don't even remember. It was president. But Mandela.
That is not what gave him the name.
Thank you so much.
Because South Africa has had other presidents, but yeah.
So, again, Mr. Kum, I have facts and figures. This is a worldwide example. Very trivial, but very powerful. I cannot come to Nigeria and say, give me a book. They give me. They don't even know. They offer me. I said, offer me a book. They offer me books on one personality have created a huge impact in the history of your country. They gave me books. They gave me books. And at the end of the day, I was like, okay, no president. No president. You see, South Africa, long walk to freedom, Nelson Mandela. Argentina, a history of Argentina in the 12th century, Luis Alberto Romero. Australia, Ben Chirali, Pusnubon. Bangladesh, Banker of the Poor, that you know. Mohammed, you know. So you see, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, but you may be citing these persons watching and looking at the personalities, but you did what Solomon said, I want wisdom.
Yes.
And you went for those who carried wisdoms from across the world and you read from them. Is that not what is lacking in Africa?
I think, but Africa is a crate of wisdom. It's just because we are now like bats. We are not bird, we are not animal. We want to copy the West, and copy and paste will never work. There's no development without culture. Any development is based, the foundation of the development of any organization is based on the culture. That's why culture is very powerful. Now, if you see our educational system, let us come back again. You know, it was done by colonial masters, but at that time, it was to serve their purpose. 60 years after, what stops us to scatter everything and say, okay, where do we want to go as a nation in terms of development? We define it, and then we train people for that. That's how we do now in marketing. The need of the market, we made a need assessment. Where do we want to go? How many, if we say tomorrow, culture will be now part of us, you see the Bamenda dress, that has become something powerful. When you say Cameroon, everywhere in the world, that is the dress that comes. Why don't we make it a whole industry? It becomes even uniform to go to school. I don't know if you are getting me, Mr.
Yeah.
Again, culture is so powerful. Our food, we have amazing food. Why should we be taking a food compliment, whereas it is demonstrated by science that Cameroon is really, Cameroon was created by God, the day God was happy.
Okay.
You have water, you have forest, you have mountains, you have everything. We are really paradise. Now, the greatest challenge we are having, again, is about leadership. If we had a clear vision, and that vision stopped being the vision of an individual, it become a common and shared vision. Because we have sat together, we said, okay, Mr. Kum, the Cameroon we want. Which Cameroon we want? Do we want? I give my idea, I give my idea, I give. How do we understand development? What does it mean for a Cameroonian to say it's developed? Is it building those funny houses and putting a carreau of the toilet on there and writing your name? What is it? Look at the city is not ugly. You know, there's no, they call it in French, l'âme. There's no spirit. You know, people will just build, people will just dress anyhow, people will just eat anyhow. Again, because the cultural element is totally absent. And the culture is the foundation. But if we know our culture, our history, then now we'll better understand all the challenges that we're facing now, and it will be easier for us to create and imagine an amazing future. Okay.
Good evening, Mr. Kum. I am happily enjoying the program. From Santa, please, for Mr. Roland's number. I desperately need a copy of the book. Kwame Louis is writing from Santa there. Good evening, sir. Sorry for this. Please, this evening on your channel, I saw an advertisement. Okay. Yes, I know you want to talk to Dr. Suleiman. Can you get to me after the program? Good evening, Mr. Leo. Please, how can I get the book? The program is so educative. It's Pastor Bless, writing from mile 16. Good evening to you. Pastor, just get to Mr. Roland. Good evening, Mr. Leonard. Please, if Mr. Roland's number and Facebook page, Quiniva, writing from Quiniva, just get to Mr. Roland through the number I just sent to you. Good evening. Sir, your guest is inspirational. Thank you to My Media Prime for making the platform worth the while. Abbas Zima, writing there, would love to get the book. Just get to Mr. Roland using that number I sent to you just now. Good evening, Mr. Leo. I'm enjoying your program. Please, for the great man's number, Levi Gibson is writing from Bafanji. That is in Balikumbat subdivision. Good evening, Mr. Kum. How can we have guys like Mr. Roland? Then Cameroon is suffering with leadership problems. Alex is writing from Boya. Yes, Mr. Roland is also helping to change the mindset of those who are hoping to lead this nation, and he thinks that Cameroon is so blessed.
Yes.
Mr. Roland, I would want you to come back to explain how blessed we are, but let me take some few more messages. Greetings, Mr. Kum. Please, can we have this except via YouTube for retrospect? This is an amazing educative program, right, to a right person. I love this coach, Mr. Roland Kwemain, please, for his number. Esimo Randolph is writing from Tico. The program is going to be on YouTube, BT Media YouTube page. Just go to BT Media YouTube page tomorrow. You're going to have it, but it's also going to stay on our Facebook page, My Media Prime Facebook page. You will find it there. Good evening, Mr. Leo. I'm Mercy from Muya. What if you are in a relationship with someone who wants to travel out for a long time? What is advisable for him to do or for you to do? Because I am in this situation and I'm confused about it. Please, sir, I need an advice, okay? Good evening, Mr. Leo. Your program is very good. Please, I want Mr. Roland's number. It's G. Emil, writing from Mongomoyen in Equatorial Guinea.
Mongomo, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good evening to you. It's better to write through WhatsApp, and I'll share the number with you. Good evening, Mr. Kum and Mr. Roland. I wish to really appreciate your program. It is so inspiring. I would love to get a copy of the book. Thanks. Abawi Ndabi writing there. Thank you very much. Wow, Mr. Leo, God bless. May God deeply bless you for the kind of blessing you are giving to the world through your programs. More grace. Thank you very much. Hello, Mr. Leo. Good evening. And greetings to Mr. Roland. Please help me and tell him I really want to talk with him. But my problem is I don't have Android phone, and I want to ask if I can text him on normal SMS also, please, yes. For the number. Okay, you can text him. Yes, it's not a crime not to have an Android phone. No. Hello, Mr. Leo. Good evening. I enjoy your program. How can I get a copy of the book? I'm Raymond, writing from Kumba. Just get to Mr. Roland, and he will direct you on where you can get the book. Good evening, Mr. Kum. I love the program. I'm Dave calling from Oyuka. Mr. Roland, you think that we are so blessed in Cameroon?
Yes.
Yes, but we hardly see persons glorifying this endowment that we have. We don't sell who we are to the world. Are we ashamed of Cameroon?
No, I think...
You have the impression?
I have the impression that the confusion comes from the fact that some of us might not be happy with the government.
Okay.
And there's a clear confusion between the government and the country.
Mm-hmm.
Dangerous. You know, the government leaders, they will pass, but Cameroon will stay. Mm-hmm. So I think that's where the difference has to be made. If not, Cameroon, I mean, I can say clearly, I've traveled around the world. So, I mean, they can check on my different pages. And despite all those travel, I still believe home. By the way, home is home. Mm-hmm. The Cameroon is very, very beautiful country now. There are three key elements in the Bible, in the Quran, that they will tell you places where great leaders went every time when they wanted to take decisions. And we have them. The first one is mountain. If you see Boya, mm-hmm. you see the west region, Mungo, even in the center and the south, mm-hmm. you really have mountains. The Colline, I mean, Yaoundé is built on. So it's a blessing. The other place that you see leaders always go, where they had a connection with the Creator, is sea. We have Limbe, Kribi, I mean, you can Douala even, people don't know. Mm-hmm. And Dizange, after they are, so they have gone there.
From Dizange, we moved down to Yoyo, through Mwanko.
Mwanko is
it's great, yeah.
Great. Mm-hmm. So, again, we have them. Mm-hmm. The last place is desert. Every year I go at least twice to the northern. It's beautiful, the northern part of our country. Mm-hmm. I mean, from Gaoundé, Gade again, you can be, it's more south, then Garoua, Maroua, you'll be amazed. So these three places, you find them in Cameroon. I mean, that's what. Now, if you take our subsoil.
Our subsoil.
Very rich. Very rich. Now, you take now the human resources. I gave you the joke in the beginning of the program. Mm-hmm. As 2010, every country I went, let me give you the anecdote of the country that had tremblement de terre, Haiti. Mm-hmm. So when I went to Haiti after the earthquake, I spent 3 days in Haiti. The country was broken. No, I finished the meeting with the top governments and all the rest, and I went to the radio. UN had a radio there because JCI was supporting the relief program. A guy listening to me knew I was a Cameroonian. They quickly came to me, and that was a lawyer that was building the legal system of Haiti, a Cameroonian. I mean, the judicial, that was, a Cameroonian. I can give you examples all over the world. I mean, in top position. We are blessed. How about football? How about sports?
Culture.
Mm-hmm. The best bassist in the world, Rishabona. Manu Dibango was a whole story. We can name. Now, the question that we can ask ourselves, what is the problem? Qu'est-ce qui ne marche pas? Qu'est-ce qui n'a pas marché? Pourquoi la mayonnaise? Why is it not? That's why I came back home. I understood. My humble understanding is that this paradox can be explained partly by the fact that leadership issues. But when I talk about leadership, I want it to be very clear. Because the person following me home will say, okay, Mr. Roland said leadership. So no, I told her about the three main actors in modern societies. Three, not four. The first one is government. Government should be outstanding. So far, we have not been there. I mean, even if you listen to the president, he himself is not happy. If you listen to all his speeches. So, government is the main actor, but it's not the sole actor. The second actor is the corporate world. The corporate world here is like the patronat, chamber of commerce, the business community. Now, the business community need to have a conducive environment where they will invest. Now, you will see very well that the business community and the government are not in good relationship. There are issues. When you see the meeting, you see the Cameroon Business Forum. For the past few years, some of us don't go again. Why? Because you will see that, but to see that the government have shown good faith, they left Yaoundé. The Prime Minister with all his ministers, they come to Douala. It's already a powerful sign of humility because they understood. But now, the reforms are very slow. Now, if you look at the government, the speed of the government compared to the speed of the corporate world, they are not in the same speed. It's like in a relationship. Maybe, we are not loving at the same. So something, we need to make sure that we find that common ground. There's no way the government will work without the corporate world. There's no way also the corporate world can work without. So we are bound to cooperate, to collaborate. And where we have failed, I can say it here, is that the collaboration is not very good. If you see the corporate world, they will be complaining, oh, these ministers, they say at the government, they say, oh, taxes you have. Whereas we need to say taxation, we need taxes. The government needs taxes to do. But again, why don't we empower the corporate world to have more wealth so that they can create jobs and they can pay taxes? We need collaborations. Clear collaboration, genuine collaboration. Now you have the third actor, the civil society. Again, very weak. Advocacy, we are very weak because many members of the civil society are very hungry. Whereas to do it, you have a strong ideal. To go to civil society, it means that spiritually you must be very strong. Because the civil society is like now the referee between opposition and the government. Civil society doesn't mean that you're opposition, no. It doesn't mean that you're government. It means that you stand for the truth. If now you say, for instance, we want to promote made in Cameroon, civil society can carry it and tell the government that, oh, from today, we want all ministers every Friday to wear a dress shown by a tailor.
The Cameroonian, yeah.
Yes, those civil society can push those. Let Bernard Zonga did it for chicken. He fought. People don't know that in this country, we used to import chicken. He fought so hard. And I remember he went all over Cameroon. I met him in Boya at that time in 2001 or 2. He came, petition. And since he was joining, the government, you don't have any problem with government because it's something genuine. And at the end, they pass a law that no importation of chicken. They can do it. He tried it with the bread. But I think with the illness, he died without. So civil society need to be very strong and mobilized. And if we have a powerful government, a prosperous corporate world, and a very independent
Press.
Civil society that collaborates and see common goal, common good, common interest, Cameroon and Africa will go very far.
Okay. This one says, please, I haven't received the number of Mr. Roland. Let me send it to you. It's good evening to you. Good evening, Mr. Kum. You have made my evening so sweet with your guest. Please, for his number. It's Madame Gala writing from Douala. Good evening to you, Madame Gala. This one says, hello, good evening, Mr. Leo. Please, for Mr. Roland's number. Thank you. Evelyn is writing from Bomenda. Good evening to you, Evelyn. Good evening, Sir Leonard Kum. This is Joel Bame from Yaoundé. How can I get the book, please? You can get to Mr. Roland. Good evening, Mr. Kum. This is Kome Sone from Boya. I really want to continue to thank Mr. Kwemain for always impacting the world. Thank you, too, for watching. Good evening. Mr. Kum, what a nice mind you have today. Can I have his contact? Mola Ekema writing from Paris. Good evening to you, Mola. Bonsoir, Monsieur Roland. Je suis francophone. J'aime beaucoup vous écouter. Je souhaiterais un encadrement en ligne des enfants en ligne. Comment faire? Comment entrer en possession du livre? J'écris depuis Douala. I've just sent you Mr. Roland's number. Can you just get to him? Good evening, sir. Senator has said it all. God gave us a paradise but being destroyed by wicked and bad leaders. Blessings, more wisdom and grace from our high to Mr. Roland Neba is writing from Kumba. Good evening to you, Mr. Neba, writing from K-Town, the Green City. Good evening, Mr. Leo. Please, for Mr. Roland's number, I need a copy of his book. You people have amazing program. Thanks, Steve. Is writing from Bamenda. Good evening to you, Steve. Good evening, Mr. Leo. Can I have Mr. Roland's number? I love your program. Bridget is writing from Bomenda. Good evening to you. I hope I can get through all of this. So many. Good evening, Mr. Leo. I'm Emmanuel writing from Akunam, Equatorial Guinea. How can we follow him on Facebook page? His wisdom can save many situations. And his number, can you just get to him? Using that number, he will tell you how to follow him. No. Maybe
I just, my Facebook is my name.
Okay.
I think you have put my name, Roland Kwemain. I have my page. So just go, my Facebook is my name.
Now, if, what are the practical modalities in order to take part in this book's dedication and training?
Okay, it will be simple. It's just to have the copy of the book, which is 10,000. That's all. Then they have access to the training, because the training I will be given that day is how do we reinvent ourselves during this VUCA environment, because the world is VUCA now. VUCA, V stands for volatile, U for uncertainty, C for complex, and A for ambiguous. So we are in a very challenging, we are at a crossroad of humanity. You know, we just had a 2 years COVID, and as soon as we thought it was over, we had now the crisis, Ukraine, Russia, and if you take the context of Cameroon, we have the crisis in NOSO for the past more than 5 years, and a lot of tension. So things have not been easy, but you know the show must go on, and this is the time now to have some tools, some tips that will help us to continue our vision, to continue to make sure that we fulfill our dream, because giving up is not even an option. So during this book launch, I always do a training. So I offer a training, 1 hour training, then later on they have, so the access to the training is just having a copy of the book, which is 10,000 francs. It is in French and English, by the way.
Okay, so those are the practical modalities.
Yes.
The trainings are taking place in Douala.
Douala will be October 12th, Hotel Sawa. Then November 16 at Juga Palace in Yaoundé. By next week, I think I'm having the venue for Brussels. but Morocco is on the Casablanca on the 20. I don't know since it's for it's a public that is different, so I didn't want to stress. Let me focus on the Cameroon.
Okay.
Casablanca is on the 22nd of October.
Let us take a look at the advert that is announcing this.
Yeah.
Yes, can we take a look at it? Okay, you're watching Prime on my Media Prime, and our guest on this edition of the program is Mr. Roland Kwemain, who is giving us some secrets, but he will not be able to give us all. You will need to get either attend the trainings or you get the books to be able to explore. But you talked about attitude, and action. And when we go through this book, you talk about reflection questionnaire that we should sit from time to time and ask ourselves that, okay, we want to change attitude, we want to change aptitude, and we want to engage in actions. And 3 fundamental questions that you want persons to, amongst others, is that you should set time frame. This is what I want to become. This is where I want to get to. Do we ask ourselves, do we give ourselves a time frame that's targeting ourselves? And you think that, do we actually engage in taking actions? Yes, I want to get into a big business. I want to get into ANAM. I want to be a journalist. 1 year, 2 years after, maybe you gave yourself this time frame. Do you ask yourself what actions you took to push this dream forward? And then you are also asking that those who are reading the book, whether they have set some observers to play as witnesses, advocates, to the commitments that were taken.
Exactly. So Kum, you have said everything. So it's not just a book. It's not just a book. I think with all humility, I said, when I look what the corporate world they pay me, you look at my clients, the book has nothing to do with income here, but I wanted to put it with the tools. These are tools, as you have said it, it's a whole coaching program for CEOs, top managers. Now, in life, Mr. Kum, questions are more important than answers. That's the secret of life. If you don't question yourself, you are finished. If you don't question yourself every day, that's the end. Leaders are learners. If they stop learning, they stop performing. And that's why the first element, I'm happy you said it, is to question yourself, for instance, where do you think I am now? What is the state of the situation? What's l'analyse de la situation? Quel est l'état actuel of where do you think you are? And this is self-assessment. is not someone saying, Mr. Kum, you're like this. What is Mr. Kum saying about himself? Because coaching, be careful, is more an accompagnement. We help you to be the better version of yourself. But by questioning. So the first question you ask yourself is, okay, now, what is the right situation now? What are my strengths? Who I am? Question. And you will answer. You go back, answer. Take your time and answer. That's number. Number two now is that, where do I want to go tomorrow? Where do I want to be? Where do I want to find myself? Some people don't know where they want to find themselves. That's why I say if a friend will call you, Mr. Kum, how are you not fine? What are you doing? Nothing. Let us go and drink. You follow him. No! I will follow you if I had in my program to go and drink. Mr. Kum, you know how we have been struggling to have our program. Because I know you have planned, and it's okay, this date I say, okay, this Thursday. I book it. And you told me, okay, are you ready, Mr. Ron? I'm ready. So I did everything aside. I knew I had a program and it's live. It's not something in record. So I need to get prepared to put and first thing first. Now, if someone call me, oh, Mr. Ron, don't forget we have to go and eat fish at 7. I just follow. No, I cannot. I have a live program with Mr. Kum because I had a program and I knew where I want to go. If I don't know, someone will call me for fish or for drink. This is me. I go and then Mr. No. So where do you want to go? Then now, how do you want to go there? How? You see the how. Why I'm using how now? Not how in the beginning. Some people get discouraged. Hey, how can I do to go to Mr. Kum program? How? No, don't ask the how. You see how is coming at the third or fourth. How now? The strategy starts. I need to develop this skill. Okay, how? Online or this? Okay, I need also to get in my network 2 or 3 persons. The how now you start. This is the strategy. When? Because there must be deadline. Now, one thing that I've learned in Rwanda, when they are building a project, it can be a building or I don't know a road. They will put beginning of the project, 15 January 2022. 15 January. End of the project, 15 January 2024. But in my lovely country, Cameroon, they will put
Delay.
12 mois. Delay d'exécution 12 mois. You know that is dangerous? Let me tell you why. If I come today, I look at it, I read delay d'exécution 12 mois, so 12 months to do it. If I come after 2 months, I read it, you know it's still 12 months, 12 mois. I come after 10 months because the time frame was not specific. So don't just put 3 months. No. 15th of December, I should be, if the goal was now to improve my English. I just give because I think the world is Anglo-Saxon. I've missed or improved my IT, my marketing digital skills. I go online, I train, but I must have a deadline. I can say before December 15, I should have level 1 certificate on digital marketing. I'm giving. Not that in 3 months is nonsense. Because in 3 months every day, okay, in 3 months, so it must be. That's why I say. Now, the last element, I need to look for a weakness. Someone, because our words are powerful, our promises, whether I like it or not. In my case, I'm doing the GBA because of the GBA, doctor in business, because of my son. I had a deal with him, my first son, that if he has his A-level and got the concours of Polytech, I will also go back to school. I will do the FEM because he was, Daddy, what do Peter Parfait on doctorat? Every time he would ask me, I said, if you have this, and he got it. So I started, Daddy, when are you starting? This is me. I'm talking to a son, eh? So when I say you come in, it's not like to a big, it can be your son. I've seen my father who stopped smoking because of me. I was sick and he said, and I told Daddy, you know, he said, but why always sick? Why always sick? I said, because you smoke. He said, no, because my father was really, you know, the parent before. He said, I said before that, when you smoke like this, it disturbed me. My father stopped smoking. I was in troisième or seconde were two. Because I was like, why all this sickness? What is happening? You're always sick. Not really. But the guy had to stop. No. He had authority on me, my father. So I am giving this example of my son. A deal with him now. I'm going back to do a doctorate. Or my father, who had authority on me, stopping smoking because of a deal. So it can be your wife. It can be a brother. You say, okay, bro, it can be a friend that, look, Leo, by December 15, I must have a certificate in digital marketing. As I've told you. Then now, Leo will ask, Mr. Roland, how far?
With what you said.
You said. Then that's why I say you must have someone. It can be your wife. It can be a colleague, a friend. You tell, look, I've said I will lose 5 kilos by end of this month. It means that I start sport. I don't eat. You know, the strategies are different. But the ultimate goal for him is to, hey, Leo, how far with that weight with the jet? You see, everything will remind. Because human being, by definition, we don't want to lose face. All of us will not want to lose our. So there's an element of dignity. We don't want to look like a liar. So because you have committed yourself, you have made a promise to your wife, or to your son, or to your parent, or to a friend, you will stop. That's why that element for me is very crucial.
Okay.
To commit to ask someone, to tell him, I don't want to do this, and he will be reminding you. It will be like a mirror to you.
Okay, good evening, Mr. Leo. Thank you for your educative program, and may God richly bless you. Roland is writing from Tombell. Good evening, Mr. Kum. I enjoy your program. May God bless Mr. Roland abundantly. Madam Alice is writing from Mundemba. Good evening, Mr. Leo. Please, for Mr. Roland's number, I need a copy of his book. Dennis is writing from Bamenda. Good evening to you, Dennis. Good evening, sir. What an impacting program. Please, for Mr. Roland's number. Eugene is writing from Boya. Good evening. After this talking, the main issue is to put into practice what is said. Thanks for the show. More grace. Eduardo is writing from Mutengene. Yes, that is why you need to take some commitment on the practical steps you're going to engage. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I enjoy your program. I'm Pelagie, writing from Tico. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Please, for Mr. Roland's number is Charles, writing from Boya. Good evening to you, Charles. Please, the guest should be used to council stakeholders of the nation. Nyak Elias is writing from Kumba, and we say congratulations to the speaker with a wonderful mindset. I enjoy his education to the nation. Good evening, Mr. Leo. It's Tristan from Douala Bonaberi. I'm really enjoying the program. How can I get a copy of the guest's book? You can do that. Mr. Liu, when I listen to Mr. Roland, it's worth saying that Cameroon is well equipped with inspirational leaders, but what stops us from moving forward? Thank you. Abawin Dambi is writing from Bambui. What is stopping us is the spirit to dare, Mr. Roland. Yeah. We are afraid to dare. I read somewhere where you said that when we are afraid to fail, yes, we cannot succeed.
We cannot. You know, failure is the twin brother of success. All the men and women that we are celebrating, that humanity celebrates, you look very well, they have failed many times. But the difference is that they do not only learn history, they learn from history. Okay. So they draw lessons from the failure, and now they could start back and continue. So, and that's where we don't take a lot of risk. Even in entrepreneurship, more and more you will see people want to be civil servant because they will tell you it's comfort zone, secure a matricule, you know, all that. And that element, but also it can be the culture. Now, if you look at the country, our African countries, you will see, because I don't like to make the difference between Francophone Africa or Anglophone Africa, because we have issues all over Africa. Now, you will see that most of the time, those who have more wealth are sometimes civil servants, which is a paradox, because a typical civil servant cannot be wealthy.
Okay.
not that he will be poor, but he cannot be wealthy. Those who are wealthy are essentially entrepreneurs. Now, you will see that even in my training and my advocacy to these young people to become entrepreneurs, they will now challenge me and say, but Mr. Roland, this, because sometimes they are very factual. But it's important to also tell them that that is exception, is wrong. The normal way of things should be this. And I want you to stay, not because the majority is doing the wrong thing, that you should do it. Now, if I take the case of the young lady who said, I think for my 16, that I think the husband or the boyfriend has traveled and she's confused. My sister, what do you stand for? What are your value system? Don't do something to please someone. Because we're in a society of imitation. Because, okay, Mr. Leo has sent his child in London. I sent a child of 17 years. What are you sending a child of 17 years? It's to become a rascal. A child is a child. Need attention, need education, need correction. So there's an age that you cannot abandon. So again, but because of imitation, because the society says we should be putting artificial, I don't know, women with hair, artificial stuff. And at the end, you look ugly, or you change your color, you know, because the society. I think we should be authentic. We should be ourselves. And we should be proud of who we are. Most of the time, we have serious issue with self-confidence, and self-confidence is a consequence of now self-esteem, self-knowledge. We don't know who we are, we don't like ourselves, and now we don't believe in ourselves. I think it is important for us to make sure that we first ask ourselves some few questions. What gives meaning and purpose to my life? The second question is, what is the last thing I will not want to lose? I can lose everything except that thing. What is it that I'm not ready to compromise? The third question will be, what is your life most exciting experience? Because we should learn to count our blessings. And one of the questions I always ask is that if you have a problem, who are you going to call? Do you have a friend that you are going to call? Does that friend know that he is so important in your life? And last but not the least, if today you are no more, how do you want to be remembered? What is going to be a legacy? So these are some few questions that I keep asking the leaders and managers that I coach, and I tell them 2 weeks, because I always do every 2 weeks, come back 2 weeks after with the answers. And sometimes I will tell you, they will tell me, coach, it's so tough. We never thought about this. So most of the time, we don't have introspection. We don't ask ourselves the right question. Right questions is already 80% solved. It's like diagnostic. When you go and meet a medical doctor, Leonard, you are sick, he asks you a question. You don't come and say, you are sick, Gambe House. He may not. He said, okay, you are sick. What is wrong? You say, okay, I have headache. Yes. I've not this night. I didn't sleep. I had back. You see, he's taking note. Okay. How about he asks questions to come with a solution, diagnostic, and from there now, and sometimes we even tell you, go and do further exams and come back. So questions in life are more important than answers.
Okay. We should question ourselves. Fonji from Ekondo Titi says, good evening, Mr. Leo. Thank you for your impactful program. Please, for Mr. Roland's number. Good evening to all of you watching us from Ekondo Titi, Lobe, Estate, Lipenja, all those areas around there.
I was there.
Moving down
when I was the assistant president.
Okay.
Ekondo Titi, Mundemba. When I was at that time, the diocese of Boya used to be till before they share with Kumba.
Okay.
So I thank God, thanks to the church, I've gone all over the country.
Okay.
And thanks to also my activities with ADCOM, where we're installing computer labs in all over Cameroon. Okay.
My worry is, Mr. Kum, our authorities having a standard of oath that they can't buy these ideas from men gifted to change the nation. Are they really following this kind of powerful talks? If yes, what's going through their minds? Please let the next section of parliamentarians sitting by same of this. Okay, they want them to buy some of these ideas. Esimo is writing from from Ewane. No, the guys are watching. They follow. They follow, but it takes time, like you are saying. We have some
paradigm shift.
We have some mentality issues that we need to work on. Good evening, Mr. Liu. The program is very impactful. The coach is quite seasoned. Madam Numfovera watching from Mundemba. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Please tell Mr. Roland to enlighten us more about the training session that he will be holding here in Yaoundé on the 26th, because some of us would love to attend the training session.
Okay, on the 16th.
Okay.
On the 16th of November, it will be my training and the book launch. Because I did not do the book launch in Yaoundé, the book 2, but my second book, because of my program. To be honest, I have a crazy schedule, but finally we have arranged on November 16. I'll be in Yaoundé in Jega Palace. So we're expecting 600. We are booked for the hall of 600 places. So because the first book were more than 600, so no problem. Just come at Jega Palace. By then, I think if you follow me on social media, we'll do it. It will be from 5 to 8 p.m. So I will give a training on how do we reinvent ourselves during crisis, during a period of uncertainty, and based on the Impactive Spirit. And then later on the book launch. So the training will be the first part, then the book launch. The only condition to take part is to have a copy of the book, which is 10,000 francs CFA. Okay.
Please, Mr. Liu, Mr. Roland's number, please, a copy of his book. You have it. Can you just write to him? Good evening, Mr. Liu. You are inspiring panelists. Please, I live in Equatorial Guinea, Malabo. How can I get a copy of the book? Please send me Mr. Roland's number. You have it. Can you just write to him? Good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm Dylan, writing from Kumba. I love your program. Please, for Mr. Roland's number. Good evening to you, Dylan. Oops, this one says, good evening, sir. Please, for Mr. Roland's number, I would love to have my own book. Thank you. I just hope when you get the book, you read it and digest what is in it. Good evening, Mr. Liu. You have a specific gift to us. Okay, may God bless you with more wisdom and your heart desires. Please, for Mr. Roland's number. Amen to that. Okay. Good evening, Bakum. Your panelists are always very powerful. Listening to him talk makes my mind shaky. Many things come to my mind. Companies don't last. Businesses are not passed down. Once you are dead, business dies. Our Cameroonian bad managers, Kum Leonard in Bamenda. Greetings to St. Matthew SCC members. Skills to sustainability is what we need. Honesty and fear of God. Mr. Roland will have to say something on that. Good evening, Mr. Kum. Please, for Mr. Roland's number. I'm Pascaline, writing from Moliko, Boya. Good evening to you, Pascaline. Hi, everybody. I'm from Benin. I greet everybody. I want to know how I can get the book. I need to develop a mindset. Best regards, Benin Republic. Just write to Mr. Roland here. He will know what to do. Good evening to you. I am writing from Boya. I like the program now. I am age 60. I regret why I didn't know this when I was young. I am interested to create impact. What do I do? My name is Clara. Please, I beg for Mr. Roland's number. Clara, is never too late. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I never knew people like Mr. Roland can be found in Cameroon. Kudos to him. Free is writing from Bamenda. Good evening to you, Free. Good evening, Mr. Liu. You have an interesting program today. We would like to get the book and also Mr. Roland's number for more information. Lizzie is writing from Bafusam. Good evening to you, Lizzie. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I have learned a lot that every nation functions on 3 tiers: government, corporate world, and civil society. Please send me Mr. Roland's number. Mr. Marcos is writing from Bamenda. Good evening, Mr. Kum. I'm just enjoying your program with Mr. Roland. He is a rare species. Let him transform Cameroonians with his positive thoughts. Let me get his contact. John is watching from Bamenda. Good evening to you, John. Good evening, Mr. Kum. I enjoy the program. Please, can I have Mr. Roland's number? Gilbert is writing from Bamenda. Good evening to you, Gilbert. Now, Mr. Roland, looking at action, you have a proverb.
Yes.
which reads that whoever wants honey must have the courage to face the bees. Is that a fundamental problem we are facing today?
Yeah. So, you know, when we see the honey, it's so nice, so sweet. But I had a pa in Bonakanda, in Boya. I can, it's the pa who always give me, I buy honey. But I will always go and meet him. The guy was so passionate about the honey.
Bee farming?
Yes, bee farming, that he loves me, because when I go there, I have at least 1 hour to sit with him and discuss. And he would tell me the history about that. I would visit his farm and all the rest. Now, you would look very well that it's not easy to do what he was doing. But he told me, my son, passion is so important in everything we do. You can do what you love. But please, if you don't do what you love what you do. So love, passion should be at the center. Now, people want to be like Mr. Kum. Let me take your case. I'm sorry to say, Kum, all this evening. I'm with you and I admire you. Now, there will be young journalists that want to be like you. You didn't know what you have gone through. You didn't know how you started in Boya. Did they think you just landed here like that in Douala? I don't know if you are getting it. Look, dear friends, no sweat, no sweet. To make it simple. If someone starts to tell you that this is a shortcut to make it, be careful. Last week I had the impact talk with on financial intelligence. My guest was Philippe BBC, the guy who has Supermarché Dove. This is the guy who was Sauveteur, today is billionaire. People will say, oh, no, it's possible. But there is, first, how do we manage our money? Do we learn how to save? If a child does not know how to save 10 francs, does not even know that he should save, it's not when he's earning 200, 300, 1 million. If you cannot manage 50,000 well, you cannot manage 1 million well. That's why you will see people with outstanding revenue, but at the end of the day, they go on retirement, frustration over frustration. They never save. I want to tell the story of Pat Thomas. When I started my career in Air Afrique, we were 4 graduates that we were recruited. Jeune cadre dynamique, nice style, car. What did they tell us in school, in the business school? That upon graduation, this is where you have to start your career. What happened for us, we were the last generation, very lucky. But wrong education in school. They told us, you know, when you are starting your career and you are working, you must look like someone who is earning le paraître. I had a pa Thomas, I will never forget. The fact that every time I would greet that pa, he was the guy cleaning the office, go and drink coffee, you know, the last person in the company. But by the virtue of my education, I used to call him Daddy, Papa. He was very surprised. I never call him Thomas or Monsieur, I call him Papa Thomas. So one day he said, my son, come. I have some few advices for you. I've done 1 month in the company. He told me, where do you live? I said, I live at Cité Sick. He said, okay. You are just a graduate? I said, yes. He said, please, don't change your house. I don't know where you're getting it. Stay there, even for 2 years. Stay in that you are. I mean, I was paying 12,000 francs. But my other friends, they moved from, they went and rented in Bonamusadi at that time. We're talking about, I'm talking about 1994. They were renting a house of 60, 75,000. Now, if you start, you see, weekends, they're all in nightclub. At that time, a bottle of whiskey is like 20,000. If every weekend you are going there, and when you start going there, it means that you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 girlfriends. Dear friend, you might be handsome. You're handsome than who? You must pay. No, there is no, you must, by the virtue of nature, is a man who should support it. So, these guys, they started, and they told me other thing. Never take advance salary at Kenzen. This is a part that is then last but not least, that's why I got finished. One day he told me, my son, look at me. I said, I've built a house. My tea cup Kum fell on my hand. I don't know if you are getting, like the guy sweeping this building, telling the young people that he has built a house. I look at him, my tea, that has fell. Who is Patoma to build a house? That day. Are you seeing the person became the master of my life? He couldn't write his name. The school and the society tells us what? When you graduate, they will give you a car. What happened to us? Yes. That you should now be eating in a restaurant, you should be dressing like this. He told me, be clean. You are a very clean young man. I was clean. To be clean doesn't mean that you are well. People can be well expensive, but they are dirty. Mm-hmm. Their room is not well organized. You are clean, that's all. Mm-hmm. Do very well your job. Stay where you are staying. The 2 years I was there, I just got there, got the promotion. And my saving, I had money in my account. At that time, the account was married with my mother. I was still young. I put her in as a signature. And sometimes she'll be surprised by the money I had at that time. Because I kept the life of a student. I don't know if you're getting me, cool. Mm-hmm. But this is something in the school. They never told us like that. And I saw my classmates in total mess. They started now having debt. They will go and, by the 15, they want advanced salary. Why a young person at that age want advanced salary? What will happen? They will steal. Some will go to prison. Why? Living above the standard. Living by what the society is saying. Imitating. Every week you are in a nightclub. Spending money. Now you move from this house, go and rent. You can still stay in your small house there, but let the place be clean, and if it's safe, that's all. So I'm giving these practical advices to young people starting their career, because it was a discussion we had last week in the Impact Talks. You see people earning millions, but having debt until even borrowing money to junior staff in a company. It's madness. So these are realities. So there are some few things that can destroy a career of a young person. Alcohol, women, gambling, then a life that is not disciplined. If you have all those mixture, you might earn millions. It will be garbage in, garbage out.
Okay. I hope the message is gone through. Good evening, Mr. Liu. What a great mind you have with you there. Please, can you help me with Mr. Roland's number? Toby is writing from Bomenda. Good evening to you, Toby. I hope that we can go through some of these messages. Hello, Mr. Liu. Having listened to our guest speaker, I wish to find out his idea on what he thinks is the role of courts be in the bad performance of most African nations. Nji Ignatius is writing from Bambui. Okay, I know you want him to talk about Freemasons and Rosicrucians. Okay. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm Mercy from Yaoundé. Please, for Mr. Roland's number. I wish to attend the program. Okay, Mercy, you have it there. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I need Mr. Roland's number. I'm Mercy in Bomenda, and I want to connect my daughter in Douala to attend a training. Okay, Mercy from Yaoundé and Mercy from Douala. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Mr. Roland is not just full of inspiration, but spiritually filled with God's wisdom in his book. Rendezvous in Yaoundé. Need his number, sir. God be your strength, Mr. Roland. Bro Franco Titan is also writing from Yaoundé. Good evening, Mr. Kum. I would love to have Mr. Roland's number. I'm Tanya, writing from Manfi. Good evening to you, Tanya. Stop calling, please. Just write. I'll respond to you. Good evening, Mr. Leo. A good program. Please, I wish Mr. Roland to comment on the different investments that Cameroonians have invested the past few years. Some Ponzi schemes that looked so promising. We trusted our own people with money, but they failed us. What advice can he give us concerning this? Desmond is writing from Boya.
I can say, or you want to read?
No, you have just taken note this one, and there was the first one where people believe that to make it, you must join a court. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm interested in your program. Please send me Mr. Roland's number. Ngong is writing from Sisia. Don't know where Sisia is. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I appreciate your work. Keep it up. please, I would love to have a copy of the book written by Mr. Roland. Linus is writing from Bamenda. Please stop calling. Can you stop calling, please? Just write to me. I'll send you his contact for those who want it. Good evening to you, Mr. Leonard, and your guests. Your topics are well selected to meet our needs. In times like this, we need such authors to change our mentality positively. All our focus in Cameroon is bush falling. We can make it big here with the ABC approach. And Vivian from Kuma, please, for his number. Yes, Mr. Roland, can you just jot this one that talks about many persons think that they can only make it out of Cameroon. Good evening. I have something to tell you guys, okay? I don't know what you want to say. Can you just write it? Write it and I'll read it out. Good evening, Mr. Leo. I would have loved Mr. Kwemain to do one of such programs in Boya, if possible, because we, the Anglophones, need to change our mindsets. Molangale is writing from Boya. Yes, Mr. Roland is a Boya man.
I'm Boya man.
It's a Boya man. Yes. Thank you, Mr. Leo, for being a blessing to humanity through this program. God will also bless you without measure. Amen. I say big amen to that. Yes, Mr. Roland.
Okay, thank you. So let us quickly on the investment. Yeah, I think every time that there is an information on cheap and quick money, be careful.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't think successful people have been hard people. They work so hard, although they were also smart. But again, if you look at the cash flow simplified version, you know, if you are just a worker, it will be difficult for you, just based on your salary, to like be very successful financially. You have now those who are independent. I mean, they run their businesses alone. Now, the danger about it is that if you are sick, the business also stops. So it's very important to be very smart. The third one are business owners like us. We have companies with staff, but again, they work, their income. But the last element or the next stage, the fourth stage, is investment. Now, you just need to be very, it's just, the problem on Africa is that we don't have transparency on the governance of our company, where I can say, okay, I will invest in Mr. Kum business, and I'm sure that Mr. Kum will clearly declare at the end maybe of every quarter or when we meet and yes, say, okay, this business has produced 100,000, that's where the problem is. If not, that's why people are falling in the trap of this quick issue that give, I don't know, 100,000, and every week you have, I would instead, maybe without making the advertisement, I've seen like the Yango that have come with the bike and and also the cars, where you can put your car there and maybe they hire it and you have some income. Let us be very concrete. I still believe that Africa, we need to be very, very tangible. I don't refuse this. I mean, my company is going digital, but we have to be very, very careful. We must still be very tangible. Okay. Things that are quick money, fast, I have doubt that I will not encourage anyone, and the result is there. We have seen, not because it's a friend or a brother, we have seen the result. I have friends that have lost a lot of money in this. Now, about cult, I would say, I will not advise any young person to be part of a cult. But if you want to do anything, do it by your conviction or for your conviction. Cults will never develop. If you're a coward, if you're a stupid, if you're a lazy person, I don't think this will bring any added value to you. So the secret of success is essentially hard work, what I've called the 5 Ds. The desire to succeed, so something within you. The second D is the discipline. The third D is the decision to implement your desire. So you must be action-oriented. The fourth D is what I would call dedication. Is about passion. You must be passionate about what you want to achieve in your life or what you are doing. And the fifth D is determination. For me, those are the 5 Ds that will help you to make it in life. So forget about all those shortcuts or those promises. Those who have succeeded in life are those who are working so hard. Now, the question about bush falling, it has been a whole issue for many years, Now, how can we do it? If people believe that is from... Now, when I've traveled around the world, and I think if you go outside out of the country and you are lazy, you will not make it. Now, if you go to the Western world, you look at our brother and sister, they work so hard. Some have 2, 3 jobs. Now, why do you, when you come back home, you think you have to just play life? You need to enjoy. Let me tell you, for the past 11 years, I sleep a maximum 4 hours a day. That's why I can run companies, I can train, I can write books, I take care now. Let me give the dimensions that are so important. The first dimension is the physical dimension. You need to make sure that you look good. Looking good means that you're healthy, sport, keep fit. The second dimension is the mental. Today we have a lot of mental issues. I saw the other day a young person in the Bonaberi Bridge who parked his car and died. Now, I was amazed by the commentary and even what some journalists said. They said, oh, the people, oh, he's not simple, he wanted to be rich. And I said, nonsense, it's mental health. Now, I asked the other people around that, if a bike guy parked his bike and jumped, what do we say? He wanted to be rich. Now, they are saying this other guy jumped because he became rich. What is this society where success is explained by everything except the element of success, which is hard work? So again, we need to make sure that falling bush is an option, but if you go there and you are lazy, you will not make it. So if you are in Cameroon, you work so hard. Now, I have to confess that our environment has not been very conducive. So it is important for the leaders, the government leaders, to facilitate, to make sure that the embezzlement is really down, because the level of embezzlement is too much. If you look at the statistics given by even the government authority in terms of embezzlement, if we fight corruption and embezzlement and we work hard to kill tribalism, we promote meritocracy against mediocracy, I think we can make it. And it will make sure that the environment is more conducive. People will not want to go. But the solution is not going. And last but not least, I think you asked a question. I don't know, I didn't take, I think there was a last question, but I didn't.
Yeah, that has to do with the survival of companies
yes.
after.
Yeah, the survival of company. Now, most of the time we see that nine companies over 10, especially owned by African, die with their founder. I made a research on that. Now, if you look, my 20 top companies, 90 of the company are multinational. It's not something I'm proud of, because when I started Go Ahead Africa, it was essential for African companies. But Mr. Kum, you were with me in Boya. It took me 1.5 years to virtually beg business owners in Cameroon to help them, to be part, to empower, to invest on the human capital. So when Mr. Jonathan Conchu came as GM of Eneo, but he has heard about me as JCI president USA. So he came, he said, this Cameroonian was JCI president, I want to see him. I was in Boya. They called me. That's how I met Mr. Conchu. That was 2013. And that was the beginning of my contract. The first CEO that said I will sign a contract like I'm bringing an American or a Canadian coach with your level was Mr. Jonathan Conchu, the CEO of Eneo. And from Eneo now, all the multinationals started. But when I went to my own even country people, they don't want. Now, they will tell you first, what is this type of bosses that hate their staff? What is the relationship between the boss and his staff? Not good. Because what even some of the business owner told me about their staff is horrible. They are thieves, they are lazy people, and they are, no. When you start to think, you don't want to invest on them, I will train them and they will go. Look at the budget of training of multinational, amazing. They've invested a lot in the human capital. That's why they are sustained. Then the second, they have put system that go beyond individuals. But our companies are essentially built on individuals. The day the CEO is happy, people are happy in the company. The day is angry, people are angry. The day is sick, people are sick. It's dangerous. We cannot build sustainable companies with those type of leadership. So we need to put system. And what I've called the QHSO, quality, hygiene, safety, and clear environmental approach and strategy to make sure that the company survives even when we are not more there. So I think there's a whole debate on the sustainability of our company, African-owned companies. But if you look at like Castel, which is Brazil's 75 years, Total in Cameroon, 70-something years. But the company that started with those multinationals, they have all closed. So there's a whole debate and a whole reflection. I think we can make a research and continue to see what are the issues, why our company cannot sustain after the death of the founder.
Good evening, Mr. Leo. Please, I would like to have Mr. Roland's number. Please, Mr. Kum, I would like to get Mr. Roland's number. How do I have Mr. Roland's book? And I would love to have his number also. Pastor Elvis is writing from Bonaberry. Good evening to you, Pastor. Good evening, Mr. Leo. Please ask Mr. Roland if it's advisable for somebody to leave a job of 250,000 francs per month in Cameroon to go to Europe. Nice program. Like to have his number. It depends. If you leave 250,000 francs job here, when you are lazy, you will not make it out there. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm writing from Kumba. I wish to have Mr. Roland's number. I really wish such programs should be held in the southwest Kumba. In particular, okay, Mr. Roland is getting your plea. Good evening, Mr. Liu. It's Isabella from Boya. I appreciate the knowledge I'm getting from the program. Please, can I have Mr. Roland's number? Good evening, Mr. Kum. I'm enjoying your interesting program, and please, for Mr. Roland's contact, our Moses writing from Bafut. Okay. Good evening, Mr. Leo. I love your program. Please, I need Mr. Roland's number. I'm Chus Suzanne, writing from Ebolova. Oops, the requests are from across the group. Mr. Leo, kindly ask your guests to target our university campuses to transform the minds of our youth with these inspirational talks. Okay, yes, but the university authority should take advantage and organize for him to come and talk to the students. Good evening, sir. Please let me have the number of Mr. Roland. Nestos is writing from Bengui. Good evening, Mr. Leo. Great guest speaker on board, full of wisdom. Please, I wish to attend the program. Can I have Mr. Roland's number? Gillian is writing from Yaoundé. Good things to you. Please, what of cryptocurrency? My husband is doing it. What can you tell me about it? Please, thank you. I would like to work. God bless you. Claire is writing from Claire, we may not have time to get into crypto issues. Good evening, sir. It's Terence from Yaoundé. Please, with Mr. Roland's number. Oops, Mr. Roland, unfortunately, so many requests, but we have to end here. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. I will want to go with this gift for them.
Okay.
What I've called Erai, and they can really take a pen. This is my final. I always do that for the organization when I finish a training session. I tell them, Erai analysis is in the book is that you have to identify 3 things that you have to eliminate. E for eliminate. Eliminate them. What are the 3 things you should stop doing if you think it can disturb you to become performant or to succeed in life? E. The R is what are the 3 things that you should reduce. You cannot just say I will stop them because it's so difficult, but you should reduce the capacity of disturbances. What is the 3 things? You see, the E and the R are negative. Now we come to the positive. Ameliorate. What are the things that you are already doing very well? We have just spent 2 hours. What are the things that you are doing well? You have listened, you have seen all what Mr. Kum and I have said. What are the things that you should continue doing, that you should just ameliorate? You are doing them, but you should continue doing. What are the 3 things? And last but not the least, what are 3 things that you start doing that you have never done? Innovate. So Erai is a whole tool that we use in our coaching session. When you use it very well, there's Erai Max Pro that I give also in the session that will help you when it's a takeaway. I really hope that at the end of the day, you guys will be successful. But success is about essentially achieving your goal. The question is, what is your goal?
Okay, what is your goal? So many requests from Mr. Roland's number. I will find time this evening to share with you guys. Mr. Roland, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you, Mr. Kum.
Okay. He is a coach and leadership trainer, expert in organizational transformation. Mr. Roland Kwemain is an impactful leader and excellent speaker who has the keys to awaken the power of leadership that is dormant in every individual. But he was the JCI World President and toured almost 70 nations across the world. met with the biggest guys you can ever think of. You met.
I said in the forum. I mean, Mutengene is called Chan.
Yes, I
yes.
know.
So I'm a Mutengene boy. Very proud to be from Mutengene.
Okay, we want to thank you for coming and thanking all of you who took time off to watch this edition of the program. We are so grateful to you, Desmond and Eli, who are producing this program. Tabi Bryant is always supervising the work we are doing out here. Tomorrow, I'm going to be receiving somebody who is in need. He has some issues, the child has some health challenges, so I'm going to be receiving him here to explain